Peace, this is King Level Black Supremacy, and with this particular video I want to talk about living with no paradigm and the power of instantaneous manifestation. Now, what is living with no paradigm? Your paradigm is your template, it's your preconceived notions, it's the way you are inclined to perceive reality based on programming, based on how past events have impacted or imprinted your consciousness. That's your paradigm. So you live in a world that is consistent, that is repetitive, that has form and shape and outcome based on your consciousness and your reaction to your perception. So a paradigm is a perceptual framework that you live in. It's the way you perceive things, and it's the way you act to those perceptions that you have that continues to create the same loop and the same reality. And it determines what can happen in your life. Your paradigm determines the probability or the likelihood of what is possible to occur in your life. That's why things look similar. Not a lot is out of the ordinary. We can see a pattern in your life of things reoccurring. There is some predictability. There is some self-fulfilling prophecy. And all this is based on your paradigm. Everyone has one. So what can happen in your life, or what happens in your life means, and how you react to that meaning creates your paradigm, the world you live in, the fourth dimensional reality. It creates events, time, space, persons and places, circumstances. This is all generated inside of your paradigm, and it looks a certain way for every individual, because each individual's paradigm is somewhat different based upon our beliefs, our perceptions, our ideas, what we've been taught and how we have been programmed. Some of us are able to change our paradigm, and we live in another paradigm that we have created or we have generated to have new experiences. We have control over our paradigm by having control over our conscious thoughts and our beliefs and our ideas, and how we're able to self-program and hypnotize our own selves. What I'm talking about in this video, being able to live with no paradigm in order to achieve instantaneous manifestation power. Meaning, in order to achieve this power, you must be able to live without a paradigm. Because your paradigm, once again, tells you what can happen, when it can happen, and how it can happen. And if things happen outside of your paradigm, outside of your ability to perceive them or add the right meaning to them, then you won't even see that they have occurred. It's difficult for things to happen outside of your belief system or your construct of reality, and this actually slows down manifestation in your life. Because things have to show up in a way that fits your meaning, that fits your template and fits your construct. So happiness, bliss, joy, abundance, prosperity, whatever you desire cannot happen for you immediately, because it does not fit within your scope, within your perceptual framework. Every paradigm limits you in a particular manner, because they define it to determine how things enter in your life and how quickly you can respond through accepting, receiving, or rejecting the things that are occurring. Your paradigm is going to determine whether you can even stomach, receive, or accept what is happening in your life. Can you walk through open doors, vortexes, wormholes? Can you dimension hop right now into the most divine experience you ever had? Probably not, because your paradigm is saying only this can happen, only A, B, and C can happen. And the meanings based on your paradigm that you attach to your life makes things mean something opposite to how they could add up to bliss and joy in your life. Your meaning will determine how you fit the experiences and the events into your consciousness or conclusion that you come up with inside of your mind. And based on the conclusion you come up with inside of your mind, then you will react in a certain way that will reinforce or create a certain reality for you. So you are really living within your own consciousness framework, your own conscious perception. All paradigms have their limits. Any paradigm you have is going to give you certain limits, a certain list of things you can do. Your paradigms come with rules, laws, regulations, preconceived notions, things that you will accept, things that you will believe, how you believe, and how you accept things. So in this particular video, I'm talking about how to live life without a paradigm, period. Getting rid of all paradigms, not even having a paradigm. That way you live in a complete flow of life, without meaning, without definition, in instantaneous manifestation mode. Meaning that as things show up in your life that are outside of the ordinary, because your paradigm defines what is going to be ordinary for you. As things show up outside of that ordinary spectrum, you're actually able to embrace their occurrence. You're able to see things in an unusual way, in an unorthodox way. You're able to accept things without form, without structure. You're able to embrace the inconsistencies that allow things to add up to what you want them to add up to, the way that you want them to add up. In that moment, you don't need validation. You don't need a chronology or a sequential order of events to justify how you can experience bliss, heaven, happiness, and abundance right now in your life, because you no longer have a paradigm. A paradigm has been the only limitation, having a paradigm, for you to experience instant manifestation in your life, experiencing things, materializing and dematerializing, and life showing up exactly the way that you want it to right now. Some goals you have, you didn't put off for 5 years, you didn't put off for 10 years. Some things that you want, you have put off for 5 months, you have put off for a decade, based upon your paradigm. You don't believe or realize that you can have these things right now because you can't validate them, you can't justify. If these things showed up for you instantaneously, it would be inconsistent with your perception, with your framework, with how you perceive things are supposed to be able to happen for you. So you couldn't even accept them. You couldn't even see them if they was right in front of you. You would push them aside. You would reject them because they don't fit within your construct of reality. You would be very suspicious about why they are happening, because you can't stomach them, because your paradigm won't allow you. So for you to have instantaneous manifestation, you have to get rid of, go beyond having any paradigm at all. That means you have no construct, no meaning, no definition. You have void and openness and emptiness to just be able to receive whatever can happen for you in your life right now. You can embrace whatever can show up for you with the purity of mind, with the innocence of consciousness. You can step into the newness. You can step into the riddle. You can step into the mysterious. Your mind can embrace that which falls outside of how you can understand things occurring. Outside of your mathematics, outside of your logic. You can embrace it. See, a paradigm is a mathematical conscious construct to be able to calculate events, situations, and circumstances, and how things are going to manifest in your life. When you get rid of your paradigm, you have no way to calculate things anymore. Now you're just open to whatever things can happen. But in that space of openness is where miracles occurs. It's where things that defy the laws, where people told you, this is not possible, or this is how this goes, or this is the steps to get to this particular point. When you get rid of your paradigm, you no longer have steps anymore. There are no steps for you to do anything to get to any place. You're open for it happening right now. And you can even see things in a way now where they're adding up to and manifesting in your life in perfect divine order. You can actually now see divine order in your life, that your only construct, your only template, your only paradigm, your only perceptual framework is divine order. Meaning that you're now in completely alignment with the present moment of how things are actually happening in your life. Like you're in real time now. And you can embrace and deal with things in real time without adding the type of meanings or definitions to them that limit you, because you need meaning and definition so hard in your life that you have to keep coming up with a conclusion that keeps locking you up in the same mental block, the same mental box, the same mental prison. So now, without a paradigm, there's no need for a conclusion. There's no need for definition. You know, there's no need for a certain type of order and rules and regulations and how things show up in your life. You don't need that anymore, because that has been blocking you. That has been making you reject things that have been for your benefit, but they didn't fit within your construct, so you rejected them. That has made you procrastinate. That has slowed you down. That's made you live in the future. That's made you put your heaven and your bliss in the future by doing that. When your heaven and your bliss is in the present moment, it's happening in real time, but you don't have a construct or a way to mentally perceive it happening, because your paradigm is telling you what it's telling everybody else, that hey, things take time, and this only can happen like this, and this only means that, based on what you've watched on television, heard on radio, all the gossip going around. You know that things in your life don't mean that they're working for you. You have a narrative that you're adding to your experience that's not working for you. And I'm telling you that life itself is working for you. It has no other choice but to work for you. That it's all in universal order, but the job of the universe is to fulfill and deliver whatever it is you desire whenever you desire it. The only thing blocking you from that type of intimate experience with the universe, where you understand how it is synchronistically working for you, is the type of paradigm you have. It's how your mind is blocked. It's how you have been programmed. So you gotta get rid of that, and you gotta now re-perceive and re-overstand your relationship to the universe, and way there, the universe becomes your new paradigm. What it actually is becomes where you actually live at now. You don't live in your mind about what things are and how things should be anymore. You now live in a universe in real time, experiencing the actual phenomenon of how things are and how they should manifest in your life. It's how they are manifesting in your life. So now you're getting back in tune and in touch with real time, so things can start happening for you in real time. Not just your mind, not just your fascination, your fantasies, not just your inner world, but they can happen in your outer world. But you have to get rid of the type of construct that's blocking you from allowing divinity to manifest itself in your physical world, because it's already there. The whole universe is divine. You just can't see it. You're locked in some space in your mind that's been created by someone else to work to their benefit, to keep their systems, institutions, and program going, and that's where you're locked in inside of your mind. I'm having you escape from there by now having you conceptualize or going beyond having a paradigm. You don't need any type of paradigm no more. You are the universe. You can be one with everything that is happening and everything that is occurring in your life. You can be one with it without definition and without meaning, and you can still stir the boat and guide and direct things to how they're going to perfectly be for you, because you have to even be open to your own perfection. Like, your own perfection is not just something that exists inside of your mind. Your own perfection in your life is a real thing, but you have to be open to what that is for you. But you have to be present and in the flow and the stream of things to be able to test and feel things from a real level based on how perfect they feel for you in the present moment. You can't come with a preconceived notion about what perfection is and what perfection would be and what it takes to get to perfection, to the point that you can't even be in your actual life experiences, feeling and knowing and guiding and swimming through your actual life itself. Like, you're not even present, you're not even there, you're living in your mind about your life, and you're not even in real life when life is showing up perfectly for you to manifest everything you need to know, everything you need to learn, everything you need to grow, everything you need to go to and grow through is showing up for you right now in your life as it is. That all that is happening is a part of where you're trying to go and what you're trying to get to, but you can't see none of that, because all you see is the program and the construct that somebody gave you, and you're living in the future about who you are, you living in the past about who you are, you living your own life vicariously, so you don't know how your own life is your own life. And I'm bringing you into that, but you gotta get rid of paradigms so that you can live in the present moment and not live in thoughts and ideas anymore, and not live in your perceptions and live in your preconceived notions. And you can't live in just a mental aspect anymore. You have to now have the courage enough and bravery enough to come out into the physical world and live in this world of energy, live in this organic world in real time. I'm bringing you out now. You know, I'm invoking God from the genie that was in the box and bringing the genie out so that it can manifest all the wishes that you have in the present moment, that they can show up for you right now. That's what I'm doing. You gotta get rid of your paradigm. Your paradigm is, for one, like I said, all the whole template, the whole construct, your whole perceptual framework about what you believe can happen, but it also encompasses all the laws, the rules, the regulations, the moralities, the shoulds, the have to, how things work, how they don't work, what they mean, all the fears, the paranoia, the limitations, all that's living inside your paradigm. And in order to have a paradigm, you need to have all those. Once you get rid of your paradigm, you don't need any of those no more. You're open to embrace and accept anything that can happen, when it can happen, as it can happen. This is part one of going beyond your paradigm, transcending your paradigm. Get rid of a paradigm and moving into instantaneous manifestation. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.KingNobleUncensored.com. Donate and don't hate.